Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So we start with question 1. So the question give us that the last digit of this number is X and the last digit of this number is Y. So to find the last digit of that of first number, which is X, so we ignore the at the front number, we just take the last digit of the number and the power. So we want to find the last digit, so we do like this. So we can find the iteration of sequence of the number. So for the first number, we got 3971 and the other 3971 also. So this is the iteration, this is the first iteration. So we got 3971. So this is the first iteration. So we go till until 3 to power of 9. We start back at the last digit, which is 3, and so on. If we do 3 power of 10 power of 11, so we'll get this equals to 3971, 3971. Okay, and then we the power of the number, we divide by 4 because it has 4 digit for the iteration, for one iteration. So we got this answer, a remainder of 3. So if we have remainder, so that means it is incomplete at the last cycle. So with the remainder of 3, we know that the number given stop at third iteration. So for the third iteration, we got 7, which is equal to X. So for the second number, we do the same for this number, and then for this sequence we get 7931, which is 4 digit also. This is the first iteration. And then the power of this number, which is 99999, divided by 4 because it also has 4 digit. So we got this answer, and remainder of 3. So same as the first number, and it complete at the last cycle. So remainder of 3, meaning that it stop at third iteration. So third iteration is 3. Is 3 equal to Y. So to find the lowest common multiple by prime factorization. Okay, so this is prime factorization of X, which is 7 to the power of 1, and Y 3 to the power of 1. So find the LCM of 7, 3, 7, which is the maximum power, which is 1, between 1 and 0, which is 1, and then times 3, maximum power between 0 and 1, so we choose 1. So we get this 7 power of 1 times to 3 power of 1, so we get 21. Okay, so now we proceed with question 2. So the question gives us set A, which is consists element of 1, 2, 3 and 4. And the question asks us to find the relation on set A which is symmetric and transitive but not reflexive. So we must list out all the elements in relation of set A. So set A consists of 4 elements, which is 1, 2, 3 and 4. So 4 times by 4 equal to 16. So there are 16 elements in relation of set A. So we list all these first, these 16 elements, and then we must find the relation. So the relation is reflexive if A relate with A, such as 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. So that is called reflexive. Okay, for symmetry, if A relate with B, then B must relate with A, such as if 1, 2, then 2, 1 must exist. So that is called symmetry. So for the third relation is transitive. So if A relate with B, B relate with C, then A must relate with C. So as example, 1, 2, 2, 3, then 1, 3 must exist. So the question asks us to find symmetry and transitive but not reflexive. So only these two. So now we list the symmetric relation first. So as I say, if A relate with B, then B must relate with A. So this list of symmetry relation, which is 1, 2, 2, 1, then 1, 3, then 3, 1 must exist, 2, 3 and 3, 2 must exist, and so on. Okay, next we go for transitive relation, which is if A relate with B, B relate with C, then A must relate with C. So we have 1, 2, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 2, 3. Then 1, 3 must exist, which is relation between A and C. Okay, then we have 2, 3, 3, 4, and then 2, 4. So this is for transitive relation. So we combine between symmetry and transitive relation, but we must check all the element must not have reflexive relation. So this is the final answer for symmetry and transitive but not reflexive relation. So we have 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 4, 4, 1, 2, 4, 4, 2, and 3, 4, 4, 3. Okay, so now we proceed with question 3, which is topic logic. So after we read the question, we can find out that the question have two witnesses, which is Hafiz and Leong. So the element involved in this question which is A for Amir, B for Botak, and C for Chin. So now we look at Leong testified first. So Leong said that Botak did not enter the bank, so which is not B. And okay, so we have N here. And if Chin pull a gun, okay, Chin pull a gun, then okay, so if Chin pull a gun, then Amir collected the money. So we have if then statement here, so we use implication. So next for Hafiz witness. So Hafiz testified that if Chin did not pull the gun, okay, so not C. Then so we have if then statement here, so we use implication. Then Botak did enter the bank, okay, and Amir collected the money. Okay, so we proceed with truth table for Leong, which is this is the equation that we derive above. So based on Leong witness, we can see that it has three rows that have all condition true. Okay, so next for Hafiz witness, so this is the equation that we derive. So for Hafiz truth table, we can see that it only has one row that have all condition true. So the question asks, it is possible for witnesses to tell the truth. So based on truth table, Leong have all condition true, which is 3, and Hafiz have 1. Okay, so since both truth table have all condition true, then it is possible for both witness to tell the truth. Okay, since both truth table have all condition true, then it is possible for both witnesses to tell the truth. Therefore, the criminal will be convicted. Okay, so we continue with question 4. So after read the question asks us to prove these two equations, which is A x mod n and B congruent to y mod n. So we go for first equation first, which is A congruent to x mod n. So by defining of mod, we get n divides A minus x. The equation also can be written as A minus x equals to n k1. So k1 which is integer. So for the second equation, also the same. By defining of mod, we get n divides by b minus y. Also can be written as b minus y equal to n k2. K2 also the same as above, which is also an integer. So and then we add which is this is first equation and this is second equation. So we add equation 1 and 2. So after we add, and then we get this equation, and then we simplify it. Got a plus b minus x plus y equals to n bracket k1 plus k2, and then a plus b minus x plus y equals to nk, which is it is true for some k element of integer. So from this equation above, we can write a new equation, which is n divides a plus b minus x plus y. So by defining of mod, we can get the equation, which is a plus b congruent to x plus y mod n. Okay, so now we proceed with question 4 to Roman. So for 2 Roman, this is the equation given. So we do as question 1, which is from this equation we can get this equation same as equation 1. So this equation also, so we can get this. So we can say this is the first equation and this is the second equation. So we multiply first equation by b, so we get this. Okay, so after that we multiply second equation by x, so we get this. So this we'll assume as third equation and fourth equation. So we add these two equation, which is add equation 3 and 4. So this is the equation ab minus bx plus bx minus xy equal to n bk1 plus n x k2. So we can cancel this. We can cancel this operation because it is minus and plus, so we only get ab minus xy. So we simplify the above equation, we get n bracket bk1 plus x k2, and then this is the final equation, which is ab minus xy equals to nk, where k equals to bk1 plus xk2. And then from this equation we can write a new equation, which is n divides by ab minus xy, and by defining of mode we can get this final equation, which is ab congruent to xy mode n. Okay, so now we proceed with question 5, which is abstract algebra. So the question state that G is under addition, and the question also asks us to determine whether G is abelian group or not. So the properties of abelian group is one, closed, and second, associative, third, identity, fourth, inverse, and the fifth one is commutative. So now we go for closed property first. So G is closed property if all A and B are element of G, and A binary operation B equals to C, and then which is C is the answer, also must element of G. So we add A and B. Okay, so we got this, which is C. Okay, so all elements are the same, which is A, B, and 0 between A, B, and C. So since all elements in C are element of G, then G is closed under addition. So and then the second properties is associativity. So associative, so G is associative when all A, B, and C are element of G, and A binary B, if we do this operation first, and binary operation C are equivalent if we do B and C first. We will get the same answer. If we do B and C first, then we do A. So this is A, this is B, and this is C. So if we do A and B first, we also get the same answer if we go for B and C first. So G is associative. Okay, so next we go for identity properties for G. G has identity if all A are element of G, and then some element of E are element of G, and A binary operation with E equals to E binary operation with A. Then we will get A back, and then we will get A. So this is show how the equation works. So this is A, so the operation is plus E equals to E plus A, and then we will get A back. So for the element of E, which is 0 0 0 0, so 0 is included in element of G, so G has an identity. So next, inverse. G has inverse when all A element of G and some B is element of G, and then A times B equals to B times A equals to inverse. Okay, so this is the inverse of A, and then we got this, which is B, and then since some element of B and all element of A are element of G, then G has an inverse. And next is commutative. So G is commutative if all A and B are element of G, and A binary operation to B equals to B binary operation to A. Since A and B has addition operation, and also since all element of A and B are element of G, then G is commutative. Okay, so since G meet all the properties, then G is an abelian group.